RSTV, poised to make the difference.
Good morning, this morning. It's the finest morning. There's no other morning like this morning. If tomorrow's morning is the finest morning, then there's no other morning like this morning. Good morning to you and welcome to the first episode of the Verdant Living series with WONNE Afronelly on your favorite station, RSTV channel 22, Port Harcourt. On today's episode, we would be looking at you and your SDGs. Do you know your SDGs? What SDG are you committing to or have you committed to? If you haven't taken any eco pledge with respect to the SDGs, the United Nations Global Goals for Sustainable Development, then today is another opportunity for you to take one eco pledge. I begin today with the news segment on the Verdant Living series. On the headlines, police alert Borgo residents to a planned destruction of expired explosives. The Rivers State House of Assembly moves to tackle flooding in the state. High-tech construction says poor estate planning and blocked drainages, not the coastal highway, are behind persistent flooding. NASA warns flooding could persist till September with over 18 million Nigerians exposed. The federal government cracks down on illegal mining in Osun State, and France seeks to expand its plastic waste management partnership in Nigeria. Details shortly. The Rivers State Police Command has notified residents of Bogo community entire local government area of a planned exercise to destroy a batch of expired explosives belonging to Halliburton Energy Services Nigeria Limited. The police says the materials were examined and confirmed expired, and that a specialist explosive ordnance disposal team from Port Harcourt will carry out the controlled destruction between Wednesday, July 18 and Friday, July 10. Residents are being asked not to panic if they hear loud explosions during the exercise, as precautionary measures are in place. Moving on. The Rivers State House of Assembly Committee on Works has met with the Commissioner for Works, Professor Temple Nwofo, and representatives of the Romo Wokeda community in Obogoro, Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State, following repeated appeals over flood management to lives and property. The committee says it will carry out an on-the-ground inspection of the affected community to assess the damage and recommend lasting solution. High-tech construction company, the firm building the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, says persistent flooding in the Lekki-Aja corridor comes down to poor estate planning, low land elevation, blocked drainage channels, and indiscriminate dumping, not the highway itself. Managing Director Danny Abode told the stakeholders meeting with National Assembly members and workers, Ministry of Works Minister David Umahi, that developers must comply with Lagos State's drainage regulations and that better land elevation and regular waterway clearing are key to preventing repeated flooding. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency says the flooding already affecting parts of the country is expected to persist through September, with the worst of it likely between August and September. The agency's forecast puts more than 18 million Nigerians at risk across 32 states and the FCT in Nigeria. The Director General Umar Mohammed said the agency's early warnings anticipated these patterns and that the situation could worsen if urgent prevention and action is not taken. The Federal Ministry of Solid Materials Development says it has intensified action against illegal mining in Osun State, deploying a special enforcement team to carry out coordinated raids on several unlicensed mining sites. The ministry says illegal mining has become a growing security, environmental, and economic concern in mineral-rich communities across the state, driving environmental damage, revenue loss, and rising criminal activities. And finally, France. The French Embassy in Nigeria says its 3-year plastic waste management project has been a resounding success, reaching 11 Nigerian universities and helping build capacity in recycling, research, and youth entrepreneurship. Deputy Head of Cooperation Pierre Adrima Pirana said the project, backed by more than 750,000 euros in French embassy funding, delivered returns well beyond its cost, citing gains in capacity building, public participation, and innovation. He added that participating universities exceeded the project's original targets. The news was put together from different news sources. It has a new segment on the Verdant Living series with WONNE Afronelly. Stay tuned now for the rest of the program. We'll now listen to the first anti-littering song in Nigeria. Stick around, don't go nowhere.
Series The Pit Commander.
Pass me the mic, come on. Let me feel myself, oh no, no.
Welcome to the garden, CT. Say the people steady walking, busy, market women and workers, grinding, steady hustlers and bosses, driving, don't litter, I say don't litter. I see you in the front seat, chilling with your driver, and you sip cold water, side up on the window, you wanna throw it out, straight into the gutter, huh? Don't do that, I say don't do that. Might not be London, but it's my bread and butter, and it might not be New York, but I love it like no other. Yeah, say I love it like no other. 1 time for my city, it's all clean. 2 time for the drainage, it's all free. 3 time for the scenery, so green. Yeah, we so green. Drop, pick it, 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 pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it, drop.
In my city, in my state,
don't litter.
In your house, in your estate,
don't litter.
Say even in the marketplace,
don't litter.
Cause we want a cleaner state, we going greener.
Big that trash, big that trash. Big that trash, you will do you good. Big that trash, big that trash. Big that trash where you leave your room. In the ghetto in the neighborhood. I see us for your daily food. Claim the cutters as you claim your cutters. Don't be lazy cause environment matters.
We don't want no litter, we just need clean city. Share unique clean rivers, make you join hands together. We don't want no litter, we just need clean city. Share unique clean rivers, make you join hands together. Pick and drop, pick and drop. Pick and drop, pick and drop. Pick and drop, pick and drop. Pick and drop, pick and drop.
Don't try to feed man we trash. You say you can feed can we trash. That's the only way we go survive. So last we go day alright, yeah. Earth is wealth, that's what it is. Stop littering, make people follow CK. Earth is wealth, that's what it is. Stop littering, make people follow CK. Ooh, join the team, let's keep it clean, cause our land is green. Ooh, stop littering, start the picking, let's make the environment clean. Ooh, join the team, let's keep it clean, cause our land is green. Ooh, make the city better, cause our land is green.
We don't want no litter, we just need clean city. Share unique clean rivers, make you join hands together. We don't want no litter, we just need clean city. Share unique clean rivers, make you join hands together. Pick and drop, pick and drop.
Series The Pit Commander. Series The Pit Commander.
All right, you're welcome back to the program, the Verdant Living Series with WONNE Afronelly. I hope you enjoyed that song lyrics video, the first anti-littering song in Nigeria. We're gonna do a proper video. It's gonna be an amazing one because we're gonna put a lot of stakeholders together, cutting across individuals to households, to community leaders, to the government, to corporate bodies, schools, and even known celebrities, because this thing we're doing is everybody's responsibility. Environmental hazards are not just the government problem, but the people problem. It is a collective effort, and that's why we just put out that video first. It's a lyrics video. The song was launched in 2019, and we're still putting ideas together. We're still calling on everyone to get involved. Imagine if you have the likes of Burna Boy, who happens to be from River State, a Grammy Award winner, on that video. I'm pretty sure it would make more impact because everyone wants to do what the celebrities say, but you as an individual and a major stakeholder of the environment, you are a celebrity. So we're not going to wait until our celebrities, tell us what to do. We just do right by us. And that's why we want to know today the SDGs. What SDG are you committing to? I'm going to be taking interactions, by the way. If you're watching me right now on channel 22 UHF, Radio River State Television, you can be part of this conversation. Have you taken an eco pledge? Have you decided to advocate for SDG 1, for example? I'm going to run through them so you know which is which. The interesting thing is, as an individual, you can advocate for all SDGs if you want. But I always advise people to take at least one or two or three. Interestingly, when you pick one SDG, right, there are two or three around it, tagging along. So at the end of the day, if you choose to advocate for, say, SDG 3, good health and well-being, you will not only be focusing on that, you would also be tagging along with SDG 4, for example, quality education. You would also be tapping into SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. We'll get to that. So last week we turned 10 years. Last week Thursday actually was our 10th anniversary, My Environment, My Wealth, and we did a short intro. We want to start a full-blown episode today, like I said, and so let's dive in straight to the SDGs. Do you even know why these SDGs came to be? We used to have the Millennium Development Goals. It elapsed in 2015 and metamorphosed into the Sustainable Development Goals. There were about 8 MDGs, and one of the 8 MDGs was preaching education for all. But having gone through the number of years that he advocated for that and implemented policies across the globe, they realized that having education, everyone access to education, is not enough. The quality of that education and the source is more important. And so that's why on the SDGs, we don't just have education for all, we have quality education. So let's run through it. Yes, I said I was going to take interaction. So if you'd like to participate on the program, we may not take phone calls today. You can send an SMS or a WhatsApp message to 0701 312 6558. 0701 312 6558. Or you can follow us via any of our social media handles. We have the picture of this episode up there. asking about knowing your SDGs. What SDGs are you committing to, or have you committed to? At my wealth, my environment, my wealth on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on TikTok as well. Yes, you can find us on all social media platforms at my wealth, MYEMYWEALTH, or send a WhatsApp message to 0701 312 6558. Okay, so number one on the list of the Sustainable Development Goals, you can see the wheel behind me. Yes, that's the wheel. That's the SDG wheel right there. So number one says no poverty. How do we end poverty in all its forms everywhere around the globe? How do we end poverty in Elelewo? How do we end poverty in Obiakpo, in Rivers State, in Nigeria? If you're a business person, yes, I know there were skits trending about, starting a business and getting grants for akara sales, corn. If you're a petty food seller, you are doing a lot, because it means that you are trying to make sure that you are empowered. That way you're reducing the poverty tagline, because Nigeria for the past years have been operating beyond the UN poverty tagline, which is about $1. There are people surviving on less than $1 per day. So how do we end such level of poverty? That's what SDG 1 is about. And then the akara sellers and corn sellers come under SDG 2, zero hunger. How do we ensure that people are not hungry? If people have what they're doing and they're not poor, they will be able to afford food. They will be able to patronize the akara sellers and the corn sellers, agbado sellers. The number is 0701-312-6558. Right there on your screen. Let us know what SDG you are driving. What are you committing to? What SDG are you helping Nigeria actualize? There are over 167 targets of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Are you playing your role? That's the question for today. SDG 3 talks about good health and well-being. How do we ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for everyone? Whether you're in government, whether you're part of the the masses, whether you're a petty trader, whether you're a school teacher, a student, a parent. How do we ensure healthy lives and promote general well-being for all? That's what SDG 3 is talking about. Now we get to SDG 4, quality education. Quality education. How do we ensure inclusive, equitable, and quality education for all? You remember earlier on I explained how the MDGs moved from education for all to quality education under the 17 SDGs. So it's not just about education for all. At that point, there was no close monitoring as to people with disabilities, people in vulnerable areas, people who have been displaced. There's flooding everywhere right now. There are people who must leave where they were to other locations. How do we include them in their educational setup in the new place? How do we ensure that when IDP camps are built to, accommodate these displaced persons, that they also have access to quality education because they have been displaced from the former place where they were? How do we make sure of that? That's where the government comes in, and that's where community policing comes in as well. SDG 5 talks about gender equality. Gender equality is about achieving gender equality and empowering women and girls. I would have preferred this to be gender equity, not just equality. Equity is beyond just equality. With equality, you are saying that whatever, if a man does a job and earns $100 and 100,000 naira, we're in Nigeria, and the woman does the same job, she should earn 100,000 naira as well, nothing less. Don't assume that she wouldn't be effective and optimal in her job delivery, and so you pay her 90,000 or 80,000 naira. No, that's why gender equality is here, to correct all of those. But you see, gender equity would mean that whether male or female, irrespective of your qualifications, you would be given adequate training to come to par, to come to equilibrium, to the same level as all other persons to deliver that job. That's what equity is about. It's beyond the gender. So you are equipping people, you are training and retraining them to be able to deliver on the same level, whether male or female. I think the UN should review these, just like they did for education for all, moving to quality education. We should move from gender equality to gender equity, and that's one of my objectives for SEAL 2027, by the way, if you've heard about it. So yes, now SDG number 6 talks about clean water and sanitation. This one is broad. It's a major area of focus. How do we ensure availability of clean water and sanitation for all? Last week we played a video, last ocean cleanup at Akpajo Sandfield, and you could see how trashy the water was. You could see that harvesting fish, if the fishers should go there and collect fish or crayfish or any of the aquatic animals that we consume that are available in that water body, and you consume them, you'll probably be eating up poison as well because of how dirty that place is. Now, apart from the aquatics that we get from these water bodies, life on the water, the community people in some communities still drink from this water. These are their source of drinking water. Some use it to cook. Okay, when you cook, you boil the water, yes, but heat has the capacity to destroy germs, for example. But there are total suspended solids that thermal heat cannot destroy, and so you consume those ones. So that's why, beyond borehole and having drilling pipe, even the pipe on, I don't think we have pipe on water in River State anymore, and that's where the government comes in. What's the Ministry of Water Resources doing? We have an agency for water at Romola. What exactly do they do? These are questions that we should be asking and demanding dividends of democracy. Before I was born, my parents told me that Port Harcourt was connected. There was pipe-borne water, every clean water. How did we move from that to people still drinking from water bodies, using water from streams and rivers as a source of cooking? Terrible, if you ask me. So are we retrogressing as a people, or are we making progress? That's why you need to be involved. Okay, don't forget you can participate on the program via WhatsApp 0701 312 6558. Okay, let's move on. Affordable and clean energy is SDG 7. Now, this one is interesting because sometimes we think that we are spending so much more, but then it's safer and a lot healthier, and that's why it's called clean energy. It may not be affordable at this time, not so affordable in Nigeria because we have not embraced clean energy. There are communities in Ogoni, there are communities in Eche that have not seen NEPA pole, like electricity pole. Now it's PHCN or PHED. They haven't. I've been to communities in Eche. They have never been there. They have never seen the pole. They use batteries to charge their phones and their rechargeable lamps to use at night. I felt so sorry because we took a campaign there. Every child a solar lamp. We went to distribute. I and some partners went to distribute solar lamps, and then we focused on those in the examination classes, SS3 and GSS3. It's so pathetic that these people do not have access to even the electricity that some of us enjoy as band A. Some complain they're on band B and band Z. But the truth is, there are people who haven't even witnessed what you are enjoying and complaining about at the same time. However, if we were to look at it critically, these persons, these communities in Eche and Ogoni axis, they stand a better chance to have a better environment than those of us in Port Harcourt, in other local governments that use electricity. You know, I watched the movie Before the Floods. I always recommend that movie to everyone. It's a documentary by UN Peace and Environment Ambassador Leonardo DiCaprio. When they did the analysis, there was a woman he interviewed in India that said that the electricity consumption of one American is the equivalent of the electricity consumption of 64 Nigerians. Let me take that again. If one American uses 10 units of electricity, the same units, 10 units is what 64 Nigerians are using. What does this tell us? It means that America is way polluted. The European countries, the American countries are way polluted when it comes to pollution from fossil fuels and electricity as a major source. But in Africa, in Nigeria, in River State, in the Ogoni axis, in the Eche axis that I have witnessed, no electricity, they stand a better chance to make a U-turn from fossil fuel to clean and affordable energy. Interestingly, the axis on Ikwere LGA, Igruta area, they've experienced electricity, no doubt. But the light is appalling. The provision for that, you know, the supply is so low that every little store you see has a solar panel on the zinc. And each time I pass through, I tell people that this is way better than the people on band A. These people would enjoy better air. The ambience will be better. You know, that area is so breezy, it's so chilly in during the early mornings and towards evening. It's so chilly and cool. You don't need an AC, you don't even need a fan. Just open your windows, you are fine. You can't have that in old GRA, in a new GRA, all the GRAs. You can't have that at all. So you see that we should even stop canvassing for electric poles and make that U-turn. So clean and affordable energy, like I said, the solar panels are not cheap. That's because not many persons have delved into that area of business. But this is an eye-opener. If you're a business person, if you're an investor, you can take on SDG 7. Bring in these inverters, bring in these solar panels. Make it affordable to Nigerians. Make it affordable to people in Ogoni, in Eche, in the whole of River State. Let's make that U-turn. That's basically what clean and affordable energy is about. Let's move from fossil fuel to clean energy, solar. You don't pay for the sun that you consume. No, it's God-given. It's natural. It's a natural source. Okay, so let's move on before we run out of time. Don't forget, like I said, you can participate on the program via WhatsApp only for today, or our social media handles. I'm just going to check through 0701-312-6558. WhatsApp only. Please don't call. I won't be able to take your call. SDG 8. Let's move on to SDG 8 now. Decent work and economic growth. How do we promote a sustained, inclusive economic growth and decent work? Now, this is where we need to, on subsequent episodes, we would get experts, we would get business persons to come on the show to tell us how they've been thriving in all of these SDGs. SDG 8, for example, cuts across every business: SME, small scale, medium scale, large scale, you know, multinational companies, exploration companies, corporate bodies, large NGOs and CSOs. Decent work and economic growth is for everyone, including the petty traders, include that small scale. So if you sell akara, you sell agbado, you are also here. Now, one interesting part that I know that we would focus on in subsequent editions would be the fact that most persons are underpaid. It's either there are youths who are unemployable, or there are those who have the skills and the jobs are not there, and so they go for whatever is available, and the employers take advantage of this loophole of no jobs and underpay these people. So SDG 8 is about promoting a sustained and inclusive economic growth. Inclusive here means that you don't undermine the effort, the intellectual capacity of, say, someone who uses a wheelchair, who uses crutches, who is experiencing some form of disability. You do not underpay those ones, and you do not discriminate when you are recruiting for positions. Everyone should be treated equally, and that's what SDG 8 talks about: inclusive economic growth. You don't push some persons aside because they have some form of disability. If you do that, how are they supposed to thrive? How are they supposed to make ends meet? Yeah, so let's move on to SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. How do we build resilient infrastructure and promote innovation? Promoting innovation would be the OVC library that we have built in Eleme local government area. We used discarded plastic bottles to build that library, and it is our vision to replicate that particular kind of library in every local government in Nigeria, not just in Rivers State. So this is where we would be working with policymakers, investors, and the government, as well as corporate bodies, to fund that vision. Reduce inequalities. Number 10, SDG 10. How do we reduce inequality within and among countries? I already mentioned people with disabilities, and it's on a larger scale at this point, qualifying. As a telecommuter, I have experienced some of these loopholes that reduce inequalities is about. There are times when I bid for jobs online and I qualify for the job, but the next question: what's your location? Where are you from? The moment you say you're Nigerian, that's it. We need to stop that, okay? If I've got the skills and if I have what it takes to deliver on the job, just give it to me. It has nothing to do with my color or country of origin. So reduce inequalities wants to reduce that particular problem amongst countries. It's should we say it's racial? No. Sometimes it's not about racial or anti-racial, whatever. It's the fact that people have a perception about certain countries based on past experiences, but it shouldn't be that way, and that's why SDG 10 is advocating for reduced inequalities. SDG 11 talks about sustainable cities and communities. How do we make cities inclusive, make them safe, make them resilient, and make them sustainable? This is where we're pushing advocacy for inner city communities to be self-sufficient. Sometime last year, the Governor Sim Fubara, launched Port City in Eleme. For over 60 years, if I'm not mistaken, Rivers State has been a one-city state, just Port Harcourt. Whereas we could have Isiopo, we could have Eleme, we could have Omoko as thriving cities on their own. We don't have to come to Port Harcourt before we know we're in a city. These cities are meant to be self-sufficient, and that's what SDG 11 is about. There are targets of SDG 11 that focus majorly on inner city communities. Inner city communities are communities as Elila Limini, Igutali, Bodo, Bunutai. These cities can thrive on their own. If every facility you need, every amenity you need would be there. You don't have to travel down to Port Harcourt to get certain services, either by private organizations or by the government. For example, the Rivers State Waste Management Agency, RWAMA, I am aware, do not cover all 23 LGAs in Rivers State. So how do you expect these other local governments to function in terms of effective waste management if you have to be focused on Obiakpo and Port Harcourt alone? I think the governor and his cabinet members need to revisit this. RWAMA should be in all. There should be a RWAMA office in every local government. Every local government council headquarters should have a RWAMA office, by the way. How do we grow as a state? How do we diversify? How do we grow the inner cities communities if RWAMA is just in Port Harcourt and Falga and Obiakpo? Because that's one challenge we faced during the cleanup at Akpaju. We had to start sourcing for excavator trucks to evacuate the trash by ourselves. And it was a Herculean task. If we had RWAMA domiciled in these LGAs, it wouldn't be a problem. So the government needs to look into that. Excuse me. SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. How do we ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns? For example, if you're taking the Eco Pledge to stop using plastic bottles, to stop buying water in plastic water bottles, you can replace with reusable water bottles as this. Bottles like this are always in my bag. You never find me with plastics. I try 90% to avoid it. So everyone can do same. And that way we are changing the production pattern. Companies will stop producing these items. Single-use plastics are the most dangerous plastic type. That will be a topic for another day. I'm going to teach you the 7 plastic types, what they are used to produce, and why you should stay away from plastic number 1, single-use plastics. Very dangerous. We'll move on to SDG 13. We're almost wrapping it up. Climate action. This concerns everyone. You see the flooding we're experiencing? It's not just in Obohoro. If you go to Rupoko, there's flooding everywhere. Rumibo, there's flooding everywhere. And then one wonders, these storm drains and small, what you call gutters, the drainage pathways, where's the end point? I'm still doing that research. I want to know where these things empty into. These water channels, these pathways, these storm drains, where exactly do they empty into? Is it open? Because it feels like the channels are just there, and when it fills up, it spills on the road, it gets into people's houses. Where does it flow to? We don't know. It's not very evident for everyone to see. So climate action is part of the reason of the flooding. However, I always tell people that indiscriminate dumping of refuse and littering, it's about 60% responsible for the flash floods, especially in Rivers State. I said this in 2018. We're still experiencing it now. So it's not just the government. Stop littering. Stop dumping refuse where they did not say you should dump. RWAMA, sit up. Life below water is SDG 14. How do we conserve and sustainably use our oceans, seas, and marine resources? This would be spanning, across several episodes on this series. Life on land talks about protecting and restoring, promoting sustainable use of our land ecosystems. Recently, I think last week, the elephant in Andoni came out to greet us. How do we protect those wildlife? Yeah. Ecotourism is a source of revenue, but the government is not looking very well at that. If I'm government, we'll make a lot of money in Rivers State now. So SDG 16 is about peace, justice, and strong institutions. How do we promote peaceful, inclusive societies and strong institutions? What's the judiciary doing? What the police, what are they doing? ask questions and demand accountability at all times. Partnerships for the goals is the last SDG. How do we strengthen partnerships to achieve the goals all together? It is a collective effort. It concerns you, it concerns me. So on this note, I'm going to say, if you haven't taken an eco pledge, take one today. From SDG 1 to SDG 17, just one. If you're going to be selling agbado and akara, it's okay. You are solving the SDG 2 problem. Make sure we're not hungry. We'll be patronizing you. If you're a school owner, thumbs up. That's quality education. Make sure it's inclusive, all inclusive. Yeah, so until I come your way again, next week is going to be an interesting topic, because now we have known the SDGs. I'm going to be asking you what eco pledge you have taken. You can go via our social media handles to learn more about the eco pledges from our previous projects and what we've been running since 2016 until today. So subsequently, we'll be getting experts, like I said, to come and talk on the different SDGs. I would also be telling you, if you're a business owner, what SDG you can actually drive. We can guide you through it and monitor your progress as well. On that note, I'm going to say, give a hoot, don't pollute. You can't go green if you don't leave blue. My name is WONNE Afronelly, and I'll be coming your way again next week. I'm going to leave you in the hands of an interesting man, Jimmy Cliff, who's preaching to us about saving our planet. Enjoy that video. Come your way again next week. Thank you.
I'd like to sing an environmental song because I'm thinking about the planet Earth. There are two kinds of people that we have living on the planet Earth. Those who want to destroy the planet and those who want to save it. I am one of those who want to save it. How about you? You ought to be. Those people who want to destroy it, they go about cutting down the rainforest, killing all the animals, polluting the air, the rivers and the sea, making war. I say we the people ought to put them under arrest because they are criminals. We want to live, we want our children to live and love, is that right? So I'm sure that you'll join us when we sing this song and say, save our planet Earth. So we say, save our planet Earth. So we say, save our planet Earth. So we say, yeah. So we say, save our planet Earth. Ding 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 ding. Whoa 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 whoa. Ding 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 ding. Whoa 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 whoa. Save our planet Earth. So we say, save our planet Earth. Hear what we say. Save our planet Earth. Stop cutting down the forest. Stop, you're under arrest. Stop killing out animals. to see what life is worth. We don't want no destruction. Save our planet Earth. Hear what we say. Sing it out like you mean it. Save our planet Earth. Hear what we say. Save our planet Earth. Everybody wants a better future, so we got to stop destroying the nature. Every single one of us, we want to survive, so we got to do the right things to stay alive. We wanna live, we wanna love, we wanna see what life is worth. We wanna live, yeah. The children wanna love, they wanna live to see what life is worth. We wanna live, we don't wanna destruction. Save our planet Earth. Save our planet Earth. Ding 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 ding. Whoa 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 whoa. Ding 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 ding. Whoa 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 whoa. If you were from Mercury, what would you do? If you were from Pluto, what would you say? We are not from another galaxy. Everybody got to live on earth and the free. Say